Hello everyone, welcome to the Red Ben TV. It is your daily news show. I am Chris Pajak and I've got loads of stories, two of which have just cropped up in the last 2 minutes. So I'm going to start with those stories. But we will be talking about Danny Road, we'll be talking about Manchester United, we'll be talking a little bit about the Premier League, rights deal, McAllister, Thiago injury updates, contract talks for a Liverpool centre-half, a potential loan player that could be recalled, and a move for Jonathan Tah as well, or I should say a potential move for Jonathan Tah as well. But I'm going to start with the two stories that weren't on my agenda until 12:29 p.m. today. I'm going to start with David Lynch over on Twitter. No big shock this, but Liverpool aren't planning a January move for Joao Felix, despite constant links in recent weeks. If I go over to This Is Anfield, actually, you can see here... The 28-year-old Portugal international is outside the usual age range of signings Liverpool have made under owners Fenway Sports Group. What's more, after he penned a new deal following the collapse of a proposed £55 million move to Bayern in the summer, it is understood that Fulham will demand a fee of £70 million to do business in January. This is far beyond what the Reds would typically pay, meaning they are expected to stick with their current options in the anchor role until the end of the season. Now, that's the line that kind of interests me more than us not being in for Paulinho, because... yeah, sticking with our current options. Now, I do wonder whether the Matip thing has had an impact on the defensive midfielder search, and I think that it probably has, although I've been saying for a little while now that I truly believe that Jurgen Klopp has looked at his midfield options, looked at the way McAllister's sort of improved over previous weeks, albeit he's injured now, and kind of is looking at it, and the way that Endo's been playing in the sixth. Well, I'm kind of happy with what we've got at the moment. Obviously, we've got Stefan Bajcetic to come back in, hopefully, in the new year as well. So I'm not surprised that Liverpool aren't in for Paulinho, first and foremost, and I'm not surprised that Liverpool might leave it a little while longer before trying to find the anchor for that midfield three, because I think my gut is telling me that Jurgen Klopp thinks he's already got his anchor and that his name is Alexis McAllister, and it's a different type of anchor than maybe a Mascherano type of a midfielder and stuff. So yeah, Anfield Lark in the comments is saying Paulinho is defo over the age and price range we need. Andrew looked very good, but he's a 6 or an 8. So that's interesting, of course. We don't want Paulinho. He's not good enough, says Thomas, doubting. And you can't doubt him. Paulinho's I think he's a great footballer in terms of, and you know what you're going to get from him. I think Liverpool nowadays, and this is where it comes into the Alexis McAllister conversation for me, is I just think Liverpool need more than just a ball-winner midfielder. I think they want a ball-winner midfielder who can do everything. And why wouldn't you? You know what I mean? Liverpool are greedy in that regard. And why would you pin yourself down to just a player who can do one thing and is just essentially a dog playing fetch, which is what I like in Paulinho too, in terms of a DM. Liverpool want a conductor. Liverpool want someone who can intercept the ball, who can read play, who can spread the ball out wide, who can decide which way we're going to play, what pace we're going to play. And I think they've got that in McAllister. Now, his tackling maybe isn't as good as what you would want, but I don't think it's too bad. And his positional sense seems to be improving the more he plays that position. Obviously, we know that at Brighton he did play that position alongside Moises Caicedo, but there's a period of adaptation. I seem to say this a lot recently, that, you know, for me, it's different playing alongside a Caicedo to playing alongside Trent for a bit and then not when he's at right back and stuff, and being the sole DM is obviously much different to playing in a two-man midfield with Moises Caicedo. So I think it just needs time. But I do like Paulinho. I think I know exactly what type of a footballer he is. I know he's very good at what he does. He's an absolute monster when it comes to winning the ball back. His age isn't a Liverpool age signing, or he is not a Liverpool age signing, of course. And the price is absolutely ridiculous for a 28-year-old dog as well. So I'm not surprised about that one. I'm going to move on then to the other story that just broke, and it's Fabrizio Romano with an exclusive here to say that Liverpool have opened talks with RB Leipzig to bring Fabio Carvalho back in January due to insufficient game time. Carvalho could start in the Champions League tonight, but he's only played 256 total minutes so far. Liverpool are not happy with this loan. Decision on next steps to be made soon. So Fabio Carvalho kind of left under Is it fair to say, or am I being a little bit obtuse here by saying that he left under a bit of a cloud? Probably there was question marks over his attitude and things like that. And so in some ways it's surprising, but in others, Liverpool have got an asset there who, you know, by rights could be a world-class player in the future. And 256 total minutes. I mean, I downloaded the new Football Manager mobile game through my Netflix account on my phone about 3 days ago, and I've put more than 257 total minutes in. He's been there all season long, and he's done less than what I've done in 3 days. By the way, I won a League and Cup double and got beaten in the UEFA Cup final by a Bayern side. They got knocked out of the Champions League, I think. For anyone who's interested, we were 1-0 up. Alisson came out of his box 20 minutes to go after a wonder goal by Victor Osimhen, who was my big summer signing. 80 million quid, I think it was. Well worth it. 25 goals in the season. 5 us to the Premier League. Brilliant, of course. Anyway, Alisson came out of his box, inexplicably passed the ball to the striker, who just slotted it into an empty net. And then in the 120th minute of extra time at 1-1, Trent Alexander-Arnold showcased his ill-advised defensive discipline and gave a penalty away, and I got knocked out in the final of the Europa League 2-1 in the 120th minute. Sad. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, 257 minutes, that was it. So I put in a lot more than 257 minutes. I've reshaped the squad for anyone who's interested. I'll maybe put a screen grab up later. We'll see, it's fine. We'll move on to the actual news. And I think when it comes to Carvalho, the likelihood here is if Liverpool are recalling him, I can't imagine he's going to get a place in our squad. He could be used in January while Mo's off and Endo's at the Asian Cup. So there could be minutes for him there. You never know. But I imagine if there are minutes for him in January, unless he really sets the world alight, we'll probably be looking for another loan move for him. So yeah. That's where we're up to. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm just thinking about me footy manager save now. Regardless, I've got to put that behind me. Got to talk about the Annie Road stands because it will be open. Liverpool have got the green light for a 57,000 capacity versus Manchester United in the Premier League this Sunday. Test event held on Monday evening. Nearly 10,000 people were there. Jurgen Klopp was there, cheekily speaking about Moises Caicedo and Lavia and Liverpool dodging bullets like fucking Neo in the Matrix, you know what I mean? Which I thought was hilarious because the boss without a PR guy next to him is just golden, like, you know what I mean? He had a little bit of a pop at Burnley as well about how he was spending his Christmas in Burnley. Jokes. But yeah, we've been given the green light by Liverpool City Council basically, so we can reopen the Anfield Road stands. The capacity is now 57,000, which is huge. Obviously, we hope to go to 61,000 late January, early February, maybe more likely. So an extra 7,000 supporters will be taking this game in. Tickets are on sale and will go first to season ticket holders and members with 13 plus credits who had tickets cancelled due to delays and registered their interest for this game. Next, the tickets will be open to members who are successful in the members ballot, had their tickets cancelled, and they register their interest for Sunday's game. Full details, click the go here on thisisanfield.com if you're interested in that one. So yeah, loads more people will be playing at Anfield this Sunday, but 2 people may not be at Anfield this Sunday, and those 2 people are the fat-headed one, Harry Maguire, and Luke Shaw. Big injuries for Manchester United ahead of their clash. 13 players could be out for this one. Not going to count me chickens, not going to say anything that could come back and haunt me, of course. But Harry Maguire, to be fair to him, has probably been one of their best players over the last 5 weeks or so. Luke Shaw, massive player for them, has done historically quite well against Mo Salah in moments, but not every game. I think we all want those players out of this game, because why not? And I think we all want a big win at Anfield on Sunday, and we all want to sack Ten Hag, or do we all want to sack Ten Hag? Craig Flynn says, Manchester United are absolute shambles. It's great. It is great. It's absolutely fantastic. They ruined my childhood, and I am enjoying the fact that they are terrible at the football. What was really funny for me watching the game last night against Bayern, of course, was that it felt to me like a lads versus dads game of footy, where the dads were playing their 8-year-old lads and just held them at arm's length, wanted to win the game, of course, because they're competitive, but didn't want to embarrass them too much and didn't want to break a sweat or an ankle or pull a muscle. And I feel like that's what Bayern did last night. They just held them at arm's length, won the game, got their little European record for away wins on the bounce, and put Manchester United out of Europe because they didn't make the Europa League. What's really funny to me is that if you'd have just said to me how many points in the 4 games against Copenhagen and Galatasaray do you think Manchester United were going to get? 4 was the answer to that, I think. Wow, that is shocking, isn't it? So yeah, they're just shit, and it's hilarious. So there we go. Another player, though, unfortunately for us, who will not be involved in this game against Manchester United at the weekend at Anfield in front of 57,000 fans, is Alexis McAllister. Got some pictures from his Instagram here over on This Is Anfield, and you can see here just about a recap of last week is what he wrote. I'm committed to my recovery and will do my best to be back soon. Thanks for your constant support. What's interesting about this one is that TYC Sports in Argentina claim he could be out until after the Boxing Day trip to Burnley, which would mean that Alexis McAllister misses 6 games in total, which is a huge blow, considering the form that Alexis has been in the last few weeks and stuff like that. So yeah, really disappointing for him. Hopefully it's nothing major. Of course, it's nothing major time-wise. It doesn't look like it's anything major. But yeah, a lot of games at this time of the year. But we've got an informed Toro Endo who can come in and play the 6 if we need to, and we still have options. You know, maybe Bacchetta's going to be back. Maybe Thiago's going to be back for some of those games as well. Yeah, who knows? Another one, of course, here is I mentioned Thiago. And it's interesting for me that Thiago was spotted at the AXA. And you can see a picture here. Thiago looking fantastic there on his way into the AXA. It looks like he could be back sooner than we believe. Rumours are that we might see him in a squad over the next week or two, which would be really interesting. And I know he's not allowed to say these types of things, but when it comes to the likes of Thiago and how he could be a new signing for us, I'm sorry. I genuinely believe it's the case. Like, he's been out for 7.5 months at the moment, Thiago Alcantara, and I think with Liverpool's squad options, certainly last year, that would have been a massive blow for Liverpool, but this year it hasn't been too much of a blow. And what that means is when you're looking at the squad and the shape of the midfield and the players that we've got and everything else, I'm looking at that thinking, Thiago's a luxury player, not Thiago as a God, we need him in the side thing. Could be a massive benefit to us, especially, you know, if we're hopefully fighting for silverware and stuff. You know, a world-class player who is a bit of a conductor, who has a great understanding. We saw him in a game at the back end of last season playing with Trent Alexander-Arnold when Thiago came on, and the two of them were just boom, 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 pinballing it around the field. And being able to pick and choose your games for Thiago, man, what an option that would be for us moving forward. So yeah, I'm really excited about this one. And the eagle-eyed among you might spot it. Let's see if I can zoom in on this picture. Where is Thiago Alcantara? There he is. So he's in trainers, unfortunately, and all the injured players were in trainers. I don't know why Harvey is. I don't think that's true, actually, you know what I mean. But it did say down here, Robertson, Bacchetis and Jota believed to be working towards a return in the near future, wore trainers while the Rangers senior squad were in sliders. Well, I'm sorry, but Harvey Elliott's in trainers there, although they look like he's fucking stood on the back of them. That's reckless abandon for the health and well-being of your trainers. It looks like Thiago is in trainers as well, but he's working with a football, I believe, so that's good as well. And I'm happy about that one. Malik says, hopefully Thiago can play a couple of games for us before he leaves. Feel bad about his time here so far. He's won league titles wherever he's been. Can he win a league title at Liverpool Football Club before he wraps it up? Who knows? The smoke, just quite simply, top of the league, baby, is right. League guy says Thiago wearing his new trainers. The Adidas ones looked pretty good to me. So yeah. All good on the Thiago front. Player that Liverpool could be opening contract talks with. This kind of came out of the blue to me, to be honest, is Ibrahima Konate. So 24 years old now, I think Konate is. Liverpool rumoured to be opening up contract discussions with his representatives. I think his contract runs until the end of... He's got 2.5 years left on his contract, so we're getting into that 6-month period where we're about 2 years away. So it'll be 2026, I think. And Le Ten Sport in France claim an exclusive in reporting the start of talks between the club's hierarchy and Konate's representatives to recognise the Frenchman's development so far. Given he has 2.5 years remaining on his existing deal, it is maintained that there is no emergency when it comes to negotiations, but Liverpool are said to want this case to be dealt with in the coming weeks so that an agreement can be reached by the end of the 23-24 season, a way to reward the French international, it is described, while securing his future and repelling possible interest in clubs. Now, interestingly, the article, again, this is Anfield.com, great source for Liverpool news. Apparently, Ibu said to Canal Plus back in November, talking about PSG, if I see myself at PSG, to say no would be a lie to you. But to tell you that I'm thinking of it as a goal at a moment, no, not at all. So Konate maybe wants to play for his hometown club at some point in the future. But right now he's focusing on Liverpool Football Club, and that can only be a good thing. Maybe it's a end of his career type of thing if PSG is still a thing then. I'll tell you where he's got more chance of winning the Champions League. Liverpool Football Club. I'll tell you he's got more chance of winning the Premier League. Well, definitely Liverpool Football Club, because PSG don't play in the Premier League. But, you know, considering like the ill will I have towards Konate for his injuries and his muscle problems, it looks like Liverpool, and I say ill will, I mean just concerns more than anything. It looks like Liverpool are pretty much confident that he's okay to be offering him a new contract, or maybe they're just trying to secure it so that nobody else comes in and maybe tries to get him on the cheap and stuff like that as well, because that we've been known to do that type of thing as well. Interesting. Race of Vase of Flower says, if Ibu wants a Champions League medal, he is better off staying here. Absolutely. Craig Flynn says, should definitely give him a new contract. He's brilliant. Completely agree with that. Luke Breen says, very happy with Ibu. Any renewal is only good news, and I fully agree with all of that. And Andrew Wright says, I like Konate. I like Konate too. I agree with you there. So yeah, we're all there. An alternative contrarian. Have I missed the Tar talk? No, not yet. No tar indeed. Oh God, that was terrible. Nicola Raduca says Jonathan Tah is great. Thank you very much, and we will be talking about him momentarily. But before we talk about Jonathan Tah, we are going to be talking about a player that Liverpool could potentially recall, other than the fella that we've already discussed. We will be talking Nat Phillips, because why wouldn't we be talking about Nat Phillips? It's 2023, late 2023, and we're still talking about Nat Phillips. Look at the Mirror's headline here. Absolute scumbags. Jurgen Klopp set to give incredible player another chance amid growing Liverpool problem. Factually, this is an absolute headline. But I mean, I'm pretty certain that Jurgen called him incredible about 4 years ago when he got a Champions League football. I'm not sure you can still reuse that. I mean, if he was incredible right now, would he not be at Liverpool Football Club rather than be playing his trade up in Scotland at Celtic? We're all known for doing the terrible titles. It is unfortunately part of the world, and I apologise for any that we've done. And any in the future that we're about to do. Anyway, Liverpool are considering calling Nat Phillips from his loan spell at Celtic following Joel Matip's season-ending injury. We know that Matip suffered an anterior cruciate ligament, ACL for anybody who can't be arsed saying it, against Fulham. Phillips famously helped Liverpool qualify for the Champions League, the 2021 season, with Reece Williams. Struggled for minutes at Celtic this season. Could we bring him in? Short-term cover. Now, this centre-back talk is obviously, this is what the kind of the show is about, I suppose, and the title is about Jonathan Tah. But where I'm looking at it now, and you know, I did a deep dive with Josh on the state of the squad on redmenplus.com. You can go and watch that. Yesterday's free Redmen deep dive was absolutely brilliant as well on Our Liverpool Good. You should definitely check that one out. That was out on our YouTube yesterday. But the other one was looking at the squad options. I tell you what, I might see if I can actually find that graphic and put it up for you, because I really liked it. And basically what we did during the show was we went through Liverpool's squad depth, and I created a little graphic yesterday. Let's see if I've got it here. I think it wasn't that one. Graphic. Have you got it? Can you put it up, mate? Oh, great. Okay, so there's the squad depth there. And we put players in, obviously, as many positions as they'll fit in. So you can see there, right back was Gomez, centre-back Gomez, both centre-backs Gomez, left back was Gomez. And obviously there's a bit of a space in the right side of centre-half, because essentially it's Canate, Gomez and Kwanzaa, with Matip being out. Now, we did this show really in depth and detail and covered it, and Josh put forward his thinking of, Liverpool needed a left-sided centre-half. I said Liverpool needed a right-sided centre-half. I think what I would say is, long-term, I think Liverpool need the left-sided centre-half more than the right-sided centre-half. But short-term, I'd go right-sided centre-half, because I think it's much more of a pressing issue if you believe that we can win the league this season. Now, the problem is that Klopp, of course, doesn't know if any top centre-halves are available. And this might be why Liverpool are looking at the Nat Phillips thing and thinking, do you know what? If the shit hits the fan, we can do worse for having someone like a Nat Phillips. Maybe remembering back to the time that he signed Ben Davies and Ozan Kabak, because we couldn't get Ibu Konate early. They didn't really have an impact at all. And so maybe he's just thinking, do you know what, break-glass solution, Nat Phillips is there. Or maybe, according to 90minutes.com, Liverpool could be looking at Jonathan Tah. Matip likely out for the rest of the season after rupturing his ACL. Liverpool may bring forward existing summer plans to sign a centre-half. Wolfberg, Lacroix and Jean-Claire Todibo are among the players on the radar. So let's have a look. Liverpool may accelerate their plans to sign a new centre-back in light of Joel Matip's serious knee injury. Yada, yada, yada. 90 minutes understand that Liverpool feel a deal could be done for Leverkusen centre-half Jonathan Tah in January, and there is an expectation that, were a transfer to be pulled off, the Germany international could seamlessly slot into the side if and when required. Now, here's a player I think it's fair to say that Liverpool have been interested in quite some time. He's played 13 Bundesliga games this season, scoring 3 goals. He's played 4 games in the German Cup and scored a goal. And I believe he's played 3 or 4 games in the Europa League. I'm just going to double check that one for you. 4 games in the Europa League as well. We know that they're doing very, very well in the Bundesliga at the moment. Of course, they are top of that table. Would Leverkusen let Jonathan Tah go for cheap enough that Liverpool are going to sign him in January? Really? Does anyone actually think Liverpool are going to be able to do this? Would you not think a player who's played for a club since 2015 will want to stick around and try and stick one to Bayern Munich and win a Bundesliga title? Because I kind of do. So to me, I don't know. It doesn't sound right. Gordy here, though, is saying he's got a release clause, hasn't he? If anyone's got the answer to that, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, if he's got a release clause, maybe. They'll take 20 million and 5 million extra. They'll take that and run. Do you reckon, Charles? I'm not sure they would. I mean, let's have a look here. The Bundesliga table right now. Admittedly a game in hand, but the 4 points ahead of Bayern, who got absolutely twatted by Eintracht Frankfurt at the weekend. I think it was 5-1, wasn't it? Which is probably why he played all the big players against Manchester United. Leverkusen there, best defence in the league with Jonathan Tah, still scoring goals as well. Haven't lost a game. They're the only team, and I believe, in all of Europe's top 5 leagues that haven't lost a game yet. I can't imagine that he's going anywhere, to be honest with you. And then in the article, actually looking back, it says here, it said at the top, didn't it, Lacroix and Jean-Claire Todibo are also interested in Liverpool. The latter attracting interest from United are 2 other potentially affordable options for Liverpool, with other players likely to be considered. They're just names for the SEO, them. I'm sure of it. What they're saying is Manchester United are interested, Liverpool Could be. Who knows? Liverpool could be interested in Jonathan Tah. And the Jonathan Tah stuff does make sense because this is a name that we've continually been linked with since probably about 2018, 2019, something like that. Big, strong fella. Oh, hello. Tah is said to have a release clause of 15.5 million. Ooh. Now that changes things. Klopp's cop is wrong. We lost against Tottenham, unfortunately. But, we had to go down to 9 men and score an own goal and have a goal incorrectly ruled offside. So, maybe in your head you are right. If there's a £15.5 million release clause, get Jonathan Tah in. Then the question is, does he want to leave? And does he want to try and win a league title at a team that he's been with for 8 years, playing for a manager in Xabi Alonso, who is probably getting the best out of that defence and that team. Nathan Rice is also saying release clause of 15. That can't be that great then. You never know. I mean, listen, he's a good centre-half, and he had all the physical things that he came onto our radar years and years ago when he was really young. And sometimes as a centre-half, it can just take a few years. You just need to build up that experience. It's not often, really, that young centre-halves come in and are absolutely sensational from start to finish. Now, I think we've got a good one in Ibu Konate, who might book the trend there. You think of... Who's that Juventus signed for tons and tons, and then he just sort of had that little dip for a year or two, and now he's back up at it and all that type of stuff. It is a difficult position, of course it is. You're going up against the best players in the world if you're at a good football club, week in, week out, and they do have a tendency to embarrass people at times. So yeah, Jonathan Tah, if there's a £15.5 million release clause, get him in. Right-footed, centre-half, yeah. I'd be happy with that. Is it more likely that we just recall Nat Phillips and use him as a break glass solution? Yeah, probably. Do you need to go and check out the show on Redmen Plus that we did for the deep dive? Yes. Do you need to go and check out the Our Liverpool Good show that we did on YouTube? Yeah, you probably do. And you need to tune in tomorrow night for the watch along? Definitely. But we've got the match preview later on this afternoon for that game against Union Saint-Gilloise. So do check that one out. Don't forget to like this video. And thank you so much for watching. You can catch me on Instagram at cpajak82. Please go and give us a follow. I've got no followers and it's a bit shit. So yeah, give us a follow on Instagram. Thank you very much for watching. Like the video. I'll see you next time. Ta-ra!
Thank you so very, very much for checking out the video. If you enjoyed it, drop a like. The season is now well underway. If you need extra Redmen content, be it podcast, videos, documentaries, interviews, and general shows, fill your boots on redmenplus.com today.